Hey, good people. This is my 55th post, and I saved it for Fred Phelps because to me, he's an important person in our culture, whether we realize who he is or not. If you're not familiar with Fred Phelps, he passed away this past March 20th, 2014, a significant date which we'll get into. He is known for having people show up at funerals and usually hold just hate-filled signs like "I hate fags" or "Fags burn in hell." And they'll show him on the mainstream media, so he gets mainstream media coverage. And that's not an accident because he's actually an agent of the mainstream media, and I'm going to show you just how coded it is. So, we want to keep in mind the number 55 as we talk about Fred Phelps. In numerology, if you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10, the first 10 numbers, it sums to 55. In numerology, 5 plus 5 equals 10, which means that if you sum 1 through 10, in numerology, it becomes a reflection of itself in total. So they call 10 the God number, because when people think of God, they like to think of it as like this omnipresent force that is a reflection of itself and all of its creation. So essentially, you're recreating that with the numbers, if you can follow. So anyway, just consider that 55 is the God number in numerology. Also, for my other viewers, I talk about 26 as the God number. That's in gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. So 55 is the God number in numerology. 26 is the God number in gematria. And when you think about the English alphabet, it's 26 letters. The word God is spelled G-O-D. That's 7 plus 15 plus 4 equals 26. We're not talking about that, though, in this one. We're focusing on 55, the God number from numerology. Okay, so I hope that's clear. Okay, so in 1955, Fred Phelps opened his first church. The year 55, that's the same year vaccinations began and Disneyland opened. Disney owns the Anaheim Angels. The name Anaheim Angels sums to 55. This stuff's everywhere, people. Anyway, he opened it in Westboro, Kansas. Westboro sums to 36. Kansas sums to 11. When you do Westboro, Kansas, it sums to 47. Other words with 47 are written on the screen: Christian, Whig, Republican, President, Caesar, Judge, Obey, Authority, much more. As for that number 36, think of a roulette wheel real quick. A roulette wheel where you put the marble on it when you gamble and you spin it around and it has the numbers. It has 36 spaces on it. The largest number is 36. And if you sum every number on the wheel, it adds up to 666. Think of what 36 might be. Might it be another way to say 3 sixes, as in 666? And just so you guys know, the people who run this world, they don't think that's a bad number. They like that number. And in the Bible in Revelation, when that number is talked about, it says the man who calculates what's coming will calculate 666, essentially. And if you look at the oldest university in the world outside of the Vatican, it's Oxford. The letters O, X, and F, the ones that spell fox, are all sixes in numerology because F is the 6th letter, O is the 15th, so 1 plus 5 equals 6, X is the 24th, so 2 plus 4 equals 6. Anyhow, moving on. In English, the words heaven, sky, and cloud all equal 55, and you would think God would, but no, Satan does, which tells you maybe who the creators of our language think the real God is: Satan. And it should be noted that English comes from Scotland, the home of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, where they have 3 degrees: 31, 32, 33. If you add those together, it sums to 96. The word knowledge equals 96 in gematria. So does the phrase Satanism. Satanism. Okay? So, also words numerology and psychology equal 55. The name Fred Phelps is a coded 55, much like how Bill Gates, the name, is a coded 33, and Bill Gates stepped down from head of Microsoft after 33 years. My point is these agents are everywhere. Computer companies, religion, they're out there. Also, the name Fred sums to 33. And when you think of Fred, you might think of Fred Flintstone. If you live in the Pacific Northwest, you might think of Fred Meyer, the massive grocery chain. Fred Meyer is owned by Kroger, the biggest grocery company in the world. Kroger equals 74. It should be noted the word Jesus, the word cross, sums to 74. Jesus was crucified at 33. Oregon is the 33rd state. The name Oregon sums to 74. The abbreviation OR sums to 33. This stuff is through and through, people. Anyhow, So, we see all this secret coding of Fred Phelps and 55. Well, this year, while studying gematria, I came to understand that March 20th was this high holy day for Satanists. And so as the day approached, I wondered if anybody would die on that day, because in my research I found that it was a day for sacrifice. And going back in history, March 20th, 2003 was the first day of the Iraq War, which began exactly 555 days after September 11th, 2001. And you have to watch my other posts. I talked about 555 in Washington, D.C. I don't want to get tangential and talk about it here. But you guys, something really weird is up. So anyway, Fred Phelps, he died this year, March 20th, 2014. Do you think he was the supreme sacrifice for the supreme being of the Freemasons this year, possibly? I do. Let's close by watching the little Fred Phelps in action and let's just see the types of words and everything he uses is just disgusting, and that's what these people are paid to do, and this is why they are what they are. They're paid to spread hate. Their message goes out to millions. People absorb this. They regurgitate this information. Before you know it, we have a society of haters like Fred Phelps.
For this country.
Have you ever known a homosexual?
Lots of them.
Yeah?
I've been the subject of personal, physical, violent attack. About 500 or 600 of them in the last 2 years. They're vicious animals. The Bible says they're brute beasts made to be taken and destroyed.
You know, I don't understand something. Maybe I don't know my Bible as well as you do, but it doesn't seem to me that God would have, created 10% of the population.
Make that 1%.
Well, no, I'm sorry. It's been shown closer to 10% if,
Doesn't matter.
they didn't deserve
10,
the same
50,
respect.
It's irrelevant.
All right, but why?
Don't change the word of God.
What would you have us do with all the gays and
Drive
lesbians?
them, my dear, back into the closet where they belong. Those people don't want the right to fornicate anally, privately. They want to do it out on Main Street and command all the rest of us to stand up and applaud. That's what I'm preaching against.
You really?
Never would have started
How
this.
can you
That's how it started.
Okay, let me just, because you're from Topeka, and you certainly have caused quite a controversy there.
Notice this ribbon, people. I want to talk about ribbons,
you
too.
don't even know animals.
I call them what the Bible calls them. I just told you. They told me not to use Bible references on this show, but I can give them a reference for everything I say. They're called brute beasts made to be taken and destroyed.
All right, a lot of things in the...
All right, that's enough hate. Brute beasts meant to be taken and destroyed. I mean, he's been attacked physically by 500 to 600 homosexuals. In what period of time did he say? I mean, I think in 2014 we know that homosexuals aren't brute beasts and ruthless, whatever he described him as. It's craziness, you guys. And anyway, this is what they do to us. They pay these people to go before us, pretend they're something they're not, and instill a message in us that we don't need. And they're doing that because they want to tear us apart. So let's awake to what they're doing. Let's stop this hate from Fred Phelps to Rodney King to all these other made-for-TV events. We are a good people. They want us to think otherwise.